Slime molds are one of nature's most fascinating organisms, and they challenge our traditional understanding of life. They're not quite fungi, not quite plants, and definitely not animals. Instead, they belong to a unique group of protists. What's truly captivating is their ability to exist in two distinct forms: the single-celled amoeba and the multicellular plasmodium. When conditions are right, like when there's plenty of moisture and food, these tiny amoebas come together to form a larger multicellular structure. This is where the magic happens. In this plasmodial stage, they can move and behave almost like a single organism, flowing and merging to explore their environment. It's like watching a living, breathing blob. One of the most intriguing aspects of slime molds is their problem-solving abilities. Researchers have conducted experiments that reveal their remarkable intelligence. For instance, in a famous study, scientists placed food sources on a map that represented a city. The slime mold, when given time, created a network of tubes that connected the food sources in the most efficient way possible, mimicking the layout of the actual city's subway system. This suggests that they can optimize routes and make decisions without a brain or nervous system. Their life cycle is equally fascinating. Slime molds begin as spores, which hatch into tiny amoebas. These amoebas feed on bacteria and organic matter, growing and dividing until they reach a critical mass. Then they aggregate, forming a multicellular mass that can move toward light or food. When conditions become unfavorable, they can revert to a spore state, ensuring their survival until the environment improves. This adaptability is a key reason they've thrived for millions of years. Another remarkable feature of slime molds is their ability to communicate. They use chemical signals to share information about food sources and danger. When one slime mold finds food, it releases a chemical signal that attracts others. This collective behavior is a prime example of how simple organisms can exhibit complex social interactions. Slime molds also play a crucial role in ecosystems. They help decompose organic material, recycling nutrients back into the soil. This process is vital for maintaining healthy ecosystems, as it supports plant growth and contributes to soil fertility. Without slime molds, we would see a significant disruption in these natural cycles. Their vibrant colors and unique shapes make them a favorite among scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. You might find them in your backyard, often appearing as yellow, orange, or even purple blobs. They thrive in damp, shady environments, like decaying wood or leaf litter. In recent years, slime molds have even inspired innovations in technology. Researchers are studying their networks to develop algorithms for optimizing transportation systems and improving data networks. The way they navigate their environment could lead to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence and robotics. So, the next time you come across a slime mold, take a moment to appreciate this incredible organism. It's a reminder of the complexity and interconnectedness of life on Earth, and how even the simplest forms can teach us profound lessons about survival, cooperation, and intelligence. Slime molds are not just blobs of goo, they are a testament to the wonders of evolution and the mysteries of nature.
Space is a vast, enigmatic realm filled with wonders and mysteries that challenge our understanding of the universe. Today, let's dive into the top 10 mysterious objects in space that continue to baffle scientists and ignite our imaginations. First on the list is the enigmatic dark matter. Comprising about 27% of the universe, dark matter doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it invisible and detectable only through its gravitational effects. Its true nature remains one of the biggest puzzles in astrophysics, as we can't see it, yet we know it's there, influencing the structure of galaxies. Next, we have black holes, the ultimate cosmic vacuum cleaners. Formed from the remnants of massive stars, these regions of space-time have gravitational pulls so strong that not even light can escape. The event horizon marks the point of no return, and once something crosses it, it's lost to the universe forever. The idea of what lies beyond a black hole is a tantalizing mystery that continues to perplex scientists. At number 8, we encounter pulsars, rapidly spinning neutron stars that emit beams of radiation. These celestial lighthouses rotate at incredible speeds, sometimes hundreds of times per second. Their precise timing has made them invaluable for testing theories of gravity and even for detecting gravitational waves. Seventh on our list are rogue planets. These are planets that wander through space without a star to orbit. Estimates suggest there could be billions of these lonely worlds in our galaxy alone. The idea of a planet drifting aimlessly through the cosmos raises questions about their formation and potential for harboring life. Next, we have the WOW signal, a strong narrowband radio signal detected in 1977. It lasted 72 seconds and has never been explained, leading to speculation about extraterrestrial life. Despite numerous attempts to find it again, the signal remains a tantalizing mystery, leaving us to wonder if we were ever truly listening to a cosmic message. At number 5, we can't overlook the Great Attractor, a gravitational anomaly located in the direction of the Centaurus constellation. It appears to be pulling our galaxy, along with many others, towards it at an astonishing speed. The exact nature of this force remains elusive, as it's hidden behind the Milky Way's dense star fields. Fourth on our list is the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang. This faint radiation fills the universe and provides a snapshot of the early cosmos. Studying it has given us insights into the universe's age, composition, and evolution, but many questions about its origins still linger. In third place, we have fast radio bursts, mysterious and powerful bursts of radio waves from deep space. Their origins are still unknown, with theories ranging from collapsing neutron stars to alien civilizations. The sheer energy of these bursts and their unpredictable nature make them a captivating subject of study. Coming in at number 2 are quasars, the incredibly bright and distant objects powered by supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies. They emit enormous amounts of energy, outshining entire galaxies. Their brightness allows us to observe them from billions of light years away, yet their formation and the mechanics behind their luminosity remain a mystery. Finally, at the top of our list is dark energy, the force driving the accelerated expansion of the universe. Comprising about 68% of the universe, it's even more mysterious than dark matter. We know it exists because of its effects, but its true nature is still one of the greatest unsolved problems in cosmology. These 10 mysterious objects remind us that the universe is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding the cosmos, yet it also reveals how much we still have to learn. The mysteries of space continue to inspire curiosity and wonder, pushing the boundaries of our knowledge and imagination.
Imagine a world where the bizarre and the extraordinary roamed the earth, creatures so strange that they seem to leap straight out of a science fiction novel. Let's dive into some of the strangest extinct creatures ever discovered. First up, we have the dodo, a flightless bird that became a symbol of extinction. Native to Mauritius, the dodo was about 3 feet tall and weighed around 2339 pounds. With its large beak and plump body, it was an easy target for sailors and invasive species. The last confirmed sighting was in the late 17th century, and it serves as a stark reminder of the impact humans can have on wildlife. Next, let's talk about the Yabwa megalodon, the colossal shark that ruled the oceans around 23 million years ago. This behemoth could grow up to 60 feet long, making it one of the largest predators to ever exist. With teeth the size of a human hand, Megalodon was a fearsome hunter, preying on whales and other large marine animals. Imagine swimming in the ocean and knowing that a creature of this size was lurking beneath the waves. Now, picture the woolly mammoth, a close relative of today's elephants. These giants roam the cold tundras of the northern hemisphere, sporting long, curved tusks and a thick coat of fur to keep warm. Standing up to 13 feet tall, they were not only impressive in size, but also played a crucial role in their ecosystem. Sadly, they disappeared around 4,000 years ago, likely due to a combination of climate change and hunting by early humans. Then there's the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, which was the largest carnivorous marsupial in modern times. With its striped back and dog-like appearance, it was a unique blend of features. The thylacine was declared extinct in the 20th century, primarily due to hunting and habitat loss. Its haunting call and mysterious nature have made it a subject of fascination and numerous alleged sightings, fueling hopes of its return. Let's not forget the swamp ankylosaurus, a dinosaur that looked like a living tank. Covered in armor-like plates and equipped with a clubbed tail, this creature was well protected from predators. It lived during the late Cretaceous period and was a herbivore, munching on low-lying plants. The sheer design of its body is a testament to the incredible adaptations that evolution can produce. And how about the Damas Irish elk? The, this massive deer, which lived during the last ice age, had antlers that could span up to 12 feet across. Despite its size, it was a herbivore, grazing on grasses and shrubs. The Irish elk eventually went extinct, likely due to climate changes and overhunting by humans. Its impressive antlers remain a symbol of the grandeur of prehistoric life. Finally, let's consider the Steller's sea cow, a gentle giant that once inhabited the cold waters of the Bering Sea. Growing up to 30 feet long, this herbivorous marine mammal was related to today's manatees. It was discovered in the 18th century and was hunted to extinction within just 27 years. Its story is a poignant reminder of how quickly we can lose a species. These creatures, each with their own unique adaptations and stories, remind us of the incredible diversity of life that has existed on our planet. They spark our imagination and challenge us to think about the fragility of ecosystems and the importance of conservation. The strangest extinct creatures are not just relics of the past, they are lessons for the future.
We all love a good story, especially when it comes to history. But sometimes those stories are more myth than fact. Let's dive into 5 of the biggest history myths that you might still believe. First up, the idea that Napoleon Bonaparte was extremely short. This myth likely stems from a mix-up between French and British measurements. Napoleon was actually around 5 feet 6 inches tall, which was average for his time. The confusion arose because his height was often reported in French inches, which are longer than the British inches. So he wasn't the tiny tyrant we've been led to believe. Next, let's talk about the Great Wall of China. Many think it's visible from space, but that's simply not true. Astronauts have confirmed that it's nearly impossible to see the wall with the naked eye from low Earth orbit. The wall blends in with the natural landscape, making it just another part of the scenery. It's a remarkable feat of engineering, but visibility from space, that's a myth. Now, consider the belief that Vikings wore horned helmets. This image is so ingrained in our culture that it's hard to shake off. However, there's no historical evidence to support this. Vikings actually wore simple helmets, often made of iron, without any horns. The horned helmet stereotype likely originated from 19th century romanticized portrayals of Vikings in art and theater. Moving on, let's address the myth that George Washington chopped down a cherry tree and confessed to it. This story, popularized by biographer Mason Locke Weems, is more of a fable than a fact. It was meant to illustrate Washington's honesty, but there's no evidence that it ever happened. Washington was a complex figure, and while he certainly had his virtues, this tale is just a charming fabrication. Finally, we have the misconception that people in the Middle Ages believed the Earth was flat. In reality, educated people during that time understood that the Earth was round. This idea dates back to ancient Greece, and by the Middle Ages it was widely accepted among scholars. The flat Earth myth was popularized in the 19th century, often to paint medieval people as ignorant, which is simply not accurate. So, there you have it. 5 history myths that have been passed down through generations. It's fascinating how these stories shape our understanding of the past, but it's equally important to question them. History is full of surprises, and sometimes the truth is even more interesting than the myth. Throughout history, humanity has unearthed countless archaeological wonders, but some discoveries remain shrouded in mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. One such enigma is the Nazca lines in Peru. These massive geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor, depict various animals and shapes, some stretching over 200 feet. The purpose of these intricate designs is still debated. Were they created as astronomical calendars, religious symbols, or perhaps even as messages to the gods? The sheer scale and precision of these lines, visible only from the air, make them a fascinating puzzle. Then there's the Antikythera mechanism, often referred to as the world's first analog computer. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, this ancient device dates back to around 150 BC. It features a complex system of gears and dials that could predict astronomical positions and eclipses. The sophistication of this technology was not seen again until the 14th century, raising questions about the level of scientific knowledge in the ancient world. How did such advanced technology exist so long ago, and what else might we have lost to time? Moving to the British Isles, we encounter the Stonehenge, a prehistoric monument that has intrigued scholars for centuries. Constructed around 2500 BC, its massive stones are aligned with the movements of the sun, suggesting it may have served as an astronomical observatory or a ceremonial site. Yet, the methods used to transport and erect these stones remain a mystery. How did ancient people without modern machinery accomplish such a feat? And why was it built? The answers continue to elude us, fueling speculation and research. In the Americas, the mysterious city of Teotihuacan stands as another archaeological marvel. Once one of the largest cities in the ancient world, its origins and the identity of its builders are still unknown. The Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon dominate the skyline, yet the city was abandoned by the time the Aztecs arrived, who revered it as a sacred site. What caused its decline? Was it environmental factors, warfare, or something else entirely? The silence of the ruins leaves us guessing. Another intriguing find is the Voynich manuscript, an illustrated codex filled with strange diagrams and an unknown script. Dating back to the early 15th century, it has baffled cryptographers and historians alike. Despite numerous attempts to decode its contents, the manuscript remains unreadable, leading some to speculate it could be an elaborate hoax or a lost language. The allure of the Voynich manuscript lies not just in its mystery, but in what it represents. The limits of our understanding and the tantalizing possibility of knowledge lost to time. Lastly, we must consider the Great Pyramids of Giza. While we know they served as tombs for pharaohs, the exact methods of their construction are still debated. The precision of their alignment and the sheer volume of stone used raise questions about the engineering capabilities of ancient Egyptians. Did they possess advanced knowledge of mathematics and astronomy? Or was it sheer manpower and ingenuity? The pyramids stand as a testament to human ambition, yet they also remind us of the mysteries that still linger in the sands of time. These archaeological discoveries not only captivate our imagination, but also challenge our understanding of history. Each site, artifact, and manuscript invites us to dig deeper, to question what we think we know, and to appreciate the complexities of our past. The unexplained elements of these findings serve as a reminder that history is not just a collection of facts, but a vast tapestry woven with mystery and intrigue.
Vatican City is often shrouded in mystery, and it's fascinating to explore why that is. This tiny independent city-state, the spiritual and administrative center of the Roman Catholic Church, is not just the home of the Pope. It's a treasure trove of secrets, history, and power dynamics that date back centuries. First, let's talk about its size. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, measuring just about 110 acres. Yet, within this compact space lies an immense amount of influence. The secrecy surrounding it stems from its unique position in global politics and religion. The Vatican operates independently from Italy, which allows it to maintain a level of autonomy that few other states can claim. This independence is crucial for the Church's ability to navigate international relations without interference. Now, consider the Vatican's role as a spiritual leader. The Pope is not just a religious figure, he's a global leader with a voice that resonates far beyond the walls of St. Peter's Basilica. This power comes with the need for discretion. The Vatican often engages in delicate negotiations with countries, addressing issues like war, poverty, and human rights. Keeping certain discussions confidential is essential for maintaining diplomatic relationships and fostering peace. Then there's the wealth of the Vatican. It's estimated to hold billions in art, real estate, and investments. The Vatican museums, housing masterpieces like the Sistine Chapel, are not just cultural landmarks, they're also significant financial assets. The Church's financial dealings are often opaque, leading to speculation and intrigue. Why the secrecy? Perhaps it's to protect the sanctity of its mission and to avoid the pitfalls of public scrutiny that can come with wealth. Let's not forget about the Vatican's archives. The Vatican Secret Archives, despite its name, is not so much about keeping secrets as it is about preserving history. These archives contain documents dating back over 1,000 years, including correspondence from historical figures like Michelangelo and even letters from kings and queens. Access to these archives is highly restricted, fueling conspiracy theories and speculation about what might be hidden within those walls. Moreover, the Vatican's stance on various social issues often invites controversy. The Church's teachings on topics like contraception, LGBTQ+ rights, and divorce can be polarizing. The secrecy surrounding internal discussions and decision-making processes allows the Church to navigate these sensitive topics without facing immediate backlash. It's a balancing act of maintaining tradition while addressing contemporary issues. Finally, there's the allure of the unknown. The Vatican's mystique captivates millions. Whether it's the rituals of the papacy, the conclave that elects a new pope, or the centuries-old traditions that govern its operations, there's a sense of intrigue that keeps people coming back for more. This air of secrecy can be a powerful tool, drawing attention and curiosity, which ultimately serves to reinforce the Vatican's influence. In essence, the secrecy of Vatican City is a complex interplay of history, power, and faith. It's a place where the past meets the present, and where the sacred intertwines with the political. Understanding this secrecy gives us a deeper appreciation for not just the Vatican itself, but for the intricate world of global diplomacy and religious leadership it represents.
Imagine a blimp floating gracefully through the sky, a beacon of surveillance during World War II. But on August 16, 1942, the L-8, known as the Ghost Blimp, took off on a routine mission and vanished without a trace. When it landed, it was empty. The crew? Gone. No signs of struggle, no distress signals, just a blimp drifting silently over the Pacific. Investigators found personal belongings, but no explanation. Some say it was a UFO, others suggest a tragic accident. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder, what really happened to the crew of the ghost blimp? I often think about the 52 Hertz whale, the loneliest creature on Earth. This unique whale calls out at a frequency that no other whale seems to respond to, making its haunting song a solitary echo in the vast ocean. Discovered in the 1980s, it's believed to be a hybrid, possibly between a blue whale and a fin whale. Imagine swimming through the deep blue, surrounded by the sounds of your own voice, with no one to answer back. Scientists speculate it may be searching for companionship, yet its calls remain unanswered. The 52 Hertz whale reminds us of the profound loneliness that can exist in the natural world, a poignant symbol of isolation amidst the beauty of the ocean.
Hidden among the rugged cliffs of Çorum province in north-central Turkey, there's a monument that's easy to miss, but impossible to forget. I'm talking about the Kaplıkaya Rock Tomb, a lonely stone chamber carved straight into a sheer wall, high above the valley floor. It's over 2,000 years old and it stands there, silent and watchful, as if daring time to erase its memory. So, who built this tomb? Who lies inside? And why was it left to fade in obscurity? Let's pull back the curtain on one of Turkey's most mysterious ancient sites. To really understand Kaplıkaya, I've got to take you back, way back, to the Hellenistic period around 200 BCE. Anatolia, or what we now call Turkey, was a crossroads of empires back then. Alexander the Great had passed through a century before, sprinkling Greek influence everywhere. After him, new kingdoms popped up, often carving tombs into cliffs for their powerful rulers. The Kaplıkaya tomb is part of that tradition, but here's the twist. This isn't some easy-to-reach tourist spot. Nope, to even get close you have to hike a tough rocky hillside. No fancy road, no royal entrance, just a rugged trail and your own determination. And when you finally reach the face of the cliff, you're met by a cube-shaped facade, sharply etched and topped with a gentle arch. It looks almost like a massive stone doorway into another world. Above the narrow opening there's a single carved word, Ikisios. That's it. No epic story, no list of heroic deeds. Was Ikisios a war hero? A local governor? Maybe a wealthy merchant trying to leave his mark? Local stories say he was a military commander, but honestly no one knows for sure. The tomb holds no treasures, no bones, no clues, just emptiness thanks to centuries of looting and vandalism. And man, has this place seen some rough days? Graffiti scars the stone. There's even talk that treasure hunters blasted parts of it with dynamite hoping to strike it rich. Archaeological evidence? Pretty much gone. The mystery just gets deeper. In 2010, Turkish officials patched things up a bit, making the site safer and easier to visit. Still, most people, even archaeologists, overlook Kaplıkaya. Maybe it's because there's nothing flashy to find. Maybe it's just too remote. Whatever the reason, the tomb sits quietly, waiting for someone to notice. But if you do make the trek, you'll never forget it. Standing there, you feel the weight of centuries pressing down. The tomb gazes over the valley, as if keeping watch for eternity. And that's the haunting beauty of Kaplıkaya. It's not just a grave, it's a relic of forgotten dreams and vanished lives. Ikisios, whoever he was, wanted to be remembered. And maybe, just maybe, this stubborn block of stone is all the remembrance any of us ever get. Sometimes the questions that remain are what make a story truly unforgettable. Have you ever stared at a thunderstorm from a distance, marveling at the sheer chaos of lightning crackling through dark clouds? Now imagine looking just above that storm, not in the clouds but far beyond, in the darkness where planes rarely fly, in the part of the sky that's closer to space than Earth. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, something flashes red. Not below, but above the storm. A glowing red tendril, a ghostly jellyfish-shaped burst of light, here for a heartbeat, then gone. That is a red sprite, a rare phenomenon, a scientific enigma, a celestial phantom that dances silently in the sky. Most people have never seen one. Many scientists didn't even believe they existed, until they were caught on camera. But for those who have witnessed one, the experience is unforgettable, like seeing the aurora borealis break into a blood-red flame and vanish into the stars. Red sprites are not new. They've likely existed for as long as thunderstorms have roamed the earth, but they remained hidden from human eyes for centuries. Why? because they live in a part of the sky we don't usually watch. Sprites occur in the mesosphere, an upper layer of our atmosphere, typically 50 to 90 kilometers above the Earth's surface. That's much higher than your usual lightning. In fact, it's above most clouds, planes, and weather balloons. When we think of lightning, we picture bolts streaking from clouds down to the ground. But sprites do the opposite. They burst upward, a crimson crown erupting from the top of a thunderstorm. But what causes them? So, the story begins with a special kind of lightning called a positive cloud-to-ground lightning strike. These are actually pretty rare. Most lightning bolts, carry negative charges downward. But in some powerful storms, a massive burst of positive charge can leap from the cloud to the Earth. And when this happens, it doesn't just affect what's below the cloud, it actually disturbs the electrical field far above. That sudden shift in electric potential triggers a chain reaction. It ionizes the thin gases in the upper atmosphere, causing this spectacular burst of red and orange light. That's the sprite. A massive electrical discharge stretching tens of kilometers in height, spreading like roots and branches, often shaped like carrots, columns, or even jellyfish. They usually last just a few milliseconds. That's really too fast for the human eye to register, unless you're really watching, or maybe just lucky enough to catch it in a photograph. And for decades, nobody believed they were real. The earliest known accounts of red sprites actually come from pilots during World War II. Flying high above storm systems, some claimed to see strange flashes of red light, high above the storms, flickering for just a fraction of a second. But their reports were dismissed. After all, pilots are often fatigued, stressed, and dealing with rapidly changing light conditions. It was just easier to assume they imagined it. Even into the late 20th century, scientists doubted their existence. There was simply no physical proof. Until July 6, 1989. That night, a research team at the University of Minnesota accidentally captured a video of a red sprite while testing a low-light camera aimed at a distant thunderstorm. What they saw, honestly, stunned them. A brief, fiery glow far above the clouds. A phenomenon that didn't belong in any textbook. It was undeniable evidence. Red sprites were real. Since then, they've been studied more closely, observed from mountain peaks, aircraft, and even the International Space Station. We now know they are part of a wider family of upper atmosphere electrical events known as transient luminous events, or TLEs. And the red sprite is just the beginning. There are blue jets, strange bursts of blue lightning that shoot up from the top of thunderstorms. There are elves, glowing halos that expand like ripples across the mesosphere in response to electromagnetic pulses. There are halos, trolls, and gigantic jets, towering bolts that connect thunderclouds directly to the ionosphere, reaching over 100 kilometers high. These events are so rare and so fast we barely understand them. But they remind us that thunderstorms are more than just wind, rain, and lightning. They are complex, three-dimensional engines of energy, capable of connecting Earth to space in ways we are only beginning to grasp. Red sprites in particular have an eerie beauty to them because, unlike other electrical phenomena, they seem almost alive. Their shapes twist and flicker like roots searching for soil, their branching arms spread like veins, and their red color, unlike anything we see in normal lightning, gives them an alien appearance. There's a reason they're sometimes called the fairies of the upper atmosphere. Some cultures even have folklore that might trace back to sprites. Ancient Japanese legends speak of mysterious lights in the skies during storms. The Vikings told of glowing warriors riding the storm clouds. Perhaps tales inspired by rare glimpses of high atmosphere phenomena. Today we have high-speed cameras, satellites, and scientific models. And yet, red sprites still elude us. We can't fully predict them. We can't always see them. And despite all our advancements, we don't completely understand how or why they happen when they do. Think about that for a moment. In a world where we map the stars, track every storm, and explore the quantum scale, there are still natural phenomena happening right above our heads that remain wrapped in mystery. Red sprites remind us that Earth is not fully explored, not really. There are secrets in the sky, in the deep sea, in the forests, in our DNA. The unknown is never far away. So the next time you see a thunderstorm in the distance, especially at night, don't just look at the lightning. Look above it, because if the conditions are just right, You might be one of the very few lucky enough to catch a glimpse of the sky's most elusive ghost. A red sprite, silent, brilliant, gone before you even know what you saw. This is the world of Cryptoverse, where science meets mystery, where the strange is never too far from the real. If you enjoyed this journey into the electric unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes there's magic in the sky. Until next time, keep your eyes open, because the universe always has one more secret left to reveal.
When we think of ancient Egypt, our minds often conjure up spectacular images of golden masks, towering pyramids, and tombs filled with unimaginable riches. We picture the treasures of Tutankhamun, glittering jewelry, and powerful pharaohs entombed in splendor. These objects certainly tell us a great deal about the ancient world, its beliefs about the afterlife, and the immense power of its rulers. But sometimes the most revealing treasures are not the ones that sparkle. Sometimes a simple everyday object can offer a more intimate and profound connection to the past. It turns out one of Egypt's greatest treasures is not a golden sarcophagus, but something far more humble, a shirt. This might sound quite surprising, doesn't it? A piece of clothing? How could a plain linen tunic possibly compete with the dazzling artifacts we see in museums around the world? Well, this isn't just any old shirt. It is the Tarkan tunic, the oldest known woven garment in the entire world. It offers us a rare and precious glimpse into the daily lives of people who lived over 5,000 years ago. It's a direct link to a person, to their body, their work, and their world. This single piece of fabric tells a story that gold and stone cannot, a story about craftsmanship, society, and the simple human need to get dressed in the morning. The importance of the Tarkan tunic lies in its very ordinariness. While a pharaoh's crown tells us about royalty and divine power, this shirt tells us about the people themselves. It speaks of a sophisticated textile industry that existed thousands of years before many other great civilizations even began. It shows us that people long ago were not so different from us. They cared about how they looked, they valued well-made clothes, and they had a sense of style. This tunic is a tangible piece of a person's life. A fragile remnant that has somehow survived the centuries to speak directly to us today. So let's put aside the glittering gold for a moment and focus on this incredible piece of linen. We are going on a journey to uncover its story. We'll look at how it was found, lost, and then found again. We will explore the secrets it revealed to scientists and what it tells us about the people of ancient Egypt. It's a detective story, really, piecing together clues from threads and folds to understand a world that vanished long ago. This simple shirt is a testament to the idea that history is not just about kings and battles. It's about real people, living real lives. The story of the Tarkan tunic begins over a century ago, in the early 20th century. The great British archaeologist Sir Flinders Petrie was leading an excavation at a site called Tarkan, an ancient cemetery not far from Cairo. Petrie was a meticulous excavator, famous for his systematic methods at a time when many were just digging for treasure. He was interested in everything, not just the shiny objects. He knew that pottery, tools, and even scraps of fabric could tell him about the lives of ordinary ancient Egyptians. His team was carefully working through a large mastaba tomb, a type of tomb from Egypt's earliest dynastic period. Inside this tomb, numbered 2050, Petrie and his team found a large pile of linen. At first glance, it probably seemed like little more than a bundle of old rags, covered in the dust and sand of millennia. In the heat and rush of a major excavation, it was easy to overlook such things. The team had other priorities, other tombs to clear, and more obviously valuable artifacts to catalogue. So this bundle of linen, along with other textiles from the site, was packed up and sent back to London for further study. It was labelled and put into storage at University College London, where Petrie held a professorship. For decades, the Tarkan tunic lay there, completely forgotten. It was just one bundle among thousands of artifacts that Petrie had shipped back from his many excavations in Egypt and Palestine. The academic world moved on. New discoveries were made, and the linen from Tarkan sat in a box, waiting. No one realized the incredible secret it held. It was a classic case of not seeing the treasure right in front of you. The focus was so often on inscriptions, statues, and jewellery that a humble piece of cloth simply didn't seem important enough to warrant a closer look. This period of neglect is a fascinating part of the tunic story. It highlights how our understanding of history can change. What one generation of archaeologists considers unimportant, another might see as a key piece of evidence. The tunic was preserved, but its significance was lost in translation, packed away in a storeroom. It's a powerful reminder that discovery isn't just about digging things out of the ground. Sometimes the most important discoveries happen long after, in the quiet archives and storerooms of museums, when a fresh pair of eyes decides to take another look. The tunic's moment of rediscovery finally came in 1977. Conservators at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London were sorting through a box of what they thought were miscellaneous ancient textiles, the same bundle that Petrie had excavated more than 60 years earlier. They were preparing the items for cleaning and proper storage. As they carefully handled the stiff, dirty linens, they realized this was not just a pile of random scraps. They began to piece it together and saw the distinct shape of a garment emerge. It had tailored sleeves, a V-neck, and a pleated body. It was a shirt. This was an astonishing find. Recognizing it as a complete garment rather than just fragments was the first crucial step. The team, led by conservation expert Sheila Landy, carefully cleaned and conserved the delicate fabric. They could now see its incredible details. The main body of the tunic was made from 3 pieces of sturdy, hand-woven linen, while the sleeves were exquisitely pleated. This was not a simple sack-like garment, it was a piece of tailored clothing designed to fit the human form. The craftsmanship was remarkable, showing a level of skill that no one thought possible for such an early period. The next big question was just how old was it? Based on the tomb it came from, archaeologists suspected it was from the first dynasty around 3000 BC, but they needed proof. In 1983, a small sample was sent for radiocarbon dating, a technique that measures the decay of carbon-14 to determine age. The results were astounding. The test confirmed that the Tarkan tunic was made between 3482 and 3102 BC. This officially made it Egypt's oldest garment and the world's oldest surviving piece of woven clothing. It was a stunning confirmation of its historical importance. The dating process changed everything. The tunic was no longer just an interesting curiosity, it was a landmark artifact. It pushed back the history of fashion and textile technology by centuries, if not millennia. The fine weave, the pleats, and the tailored cut all pointed to a highly advanced society. This wasn't the work of people just learning how to make cloth. This was the product of a mature industry with skilled artisans who understood their materials and had a clear sense of design. The forgotten bundle of rags had been transformed into one of the most important textiles in the world. With its age confirmed, the next mystery was who would have worn such a garment. The Tarkan tunic is not a simple, rough piece of work clothing. It is finely made with details that suggest it was a high-status item. The pleating on the sleeves and the tailored fit would have required a significant amount of time and skill to create. This was not something an ordinary laborer would have worn to build pyramids. This was a piece of high fashion for its time, likely expensive and owned by someone of considerable importance in society. We can see signs of wear and tear on the tunic. There are creases at the elbows and under the arms, which tells us that this was not a ceremonial garment stored away for special occasions. It was worn in life. Someone moved in this shirt, worked in it, and lived in it. This makes it even more personal and fascinating. It connects us directly to the body of an individual from over 5,000 years ago. We can almost imagine a wealthy Egyptian nobleman or a high-ranking official going about their daily business. The fine linen providing comfort in the hot climate. Could it have been worn by a member of the royal family? It is certainly possible. The tomb where it was found was a large and important one, suggesting it belonged to a member of the elite. While the tunic is elegant, it is also practical. It would have allowed for freedom of movement, making it suitable for an active person of high rank. Perhaps it was a young prince, or even a pharaoh in their youth. Without an inscription, we will probably never know the owner's name. But the quality of the tunic itself speaks volumes about their place in the world. The tunic's design is also quite revealing. It's light and airy. perfectly suited to the Egyptian climate. The V-neck and fitted sleeves are surprisingly modern. It shows that the fundamental principles of clothing design, comfort, practicality, and style were already well established at the dawn of civilization. The person who wore this shirt was not a primitive figure from the distant past. They were a sophisticated individual living in a complex and developed society. The tunic is a powerful piece of evidence that challenges any outdated notions we might have about the ancient world. The Tarkan tunic does more than just tell us about fashion. It opens a window into the everyday life of ancient Egypt during the First Dynasty. Before its discovery, most of our knowledge about clothing from this period came from art, tomb paintings and carvings. These depictions are often stylized and don't show the real details of how clothes were made or worn. They usually show simple, wrap-around kilts for men and straight, sheath-like dresses for women. The Tarkan tunic, however, is real. It is physical proof of tailored clothing, something far more complex than the simple wraps seen in art. This tells us that the reality of ancient life was far more nuanced than artistic conventions suggest. The Egyptians had the technology and skill to create fitted garments, which implies a sophisticated understanding of weaving and sewing. Making the linen thread, weaving the cloth on a loom, and then cutting and stitching it into a shirt was a multi-step process that required specialized labor. This suggests a society with a developed economy, where people could be professional weavers or tailors. It paints a picture of a bustling, organized world, not so different from our own in its basic structure. Furthermore, the tunic gives us insight into ancient Egyptian values. The care taken in its creation shows that they valued aesthetics and personal appearance. The fine pleats were not necessary for the shirt to function, they were a decorative element. A touch of style meant to impress. This tells us that social status was important and that clothing was one of the primary ways people displayed it. Just as we might wear a designer brand today to signal our place in the world, an ancient Egyptian might have worn this finely pleated tunic to show they were a person of taste and means. The tunic also hints at the daily activities of its owner. The wear marks suggest an active person. They were not sitting on a throne all day, perhaps they were overseeing an estate, inspecting building projects, or engaging in courtly life. The garment is practical enough for movement, but elegant enough for formal settings. It bridges the gap between work and leisure, giving us a more rounded picture of what life was like for the Egyptian elite. It helps us see them not as static figures in a painting, but as dynamic people with full and varied lives. One of the most incredible aspects of the Tarkan tunic is that it survived at all. Organic materials like cloth, wood, and leather are extremely fragile. They decay quickly when exposed to moisture, bacteria, and oxygen. This is why we have so few examples of ancient clothing from anywhere in the world. Most textiles from the past have long since rotted away, turning to dust. Finding a piece of clothing that is over 5,000 years old is nothing short of a miracle. So how did this particular shirt beat the odds and survive for so long? The answer lies in the unique conditions of its burial. The tunic was placed inside a sealed tomb in the Tarkan cemetery, which is located on the edge of the desert, away from the Nile's annual flood. Egypt's hot, dry climate is one of the best natural preservatives in the world. The extreme aridity of the desert environment meant there was very little moisture to encourage the growth of bacteria and fungi that caused decay. The tomb, sealed off from the outside world, created a stable, protected microenvironment that kept the linen safe from the elements for millennia. It is also important that the tunic was placed in a tomb. In ancient Egypt, people were buried with objects they would need in the afterlife. This included food, tools, furniture, and of course clothing. The tunic was not simply discarded as rubbish. It was intentionally placed in a protected space. This act of burial is the main reason we have so many well-preserved artifacts from Egypt. While most everyday items would have been worn out and thrown away, grave goods were sealed away from the ravages of time. The tunic's survival is a direct result of ancient Egyptian beliefs about eternity. Ultimately, the Tarkan tunic is a powerful symbol of how much of our history is lost forever. For every one tunic that survived, countless thousands, perhaps millions, have vanished. It reminds us that our picture of the past is always incomplete, pieced together from the few lucky fragments that managed to endure. This fragile piece of linen is a ghost from a lost world, a rare survivor that carries the story of its time. It stands as a profound reminder that sometimes the most amazing treasures are not the strongest, but the most delicate things that somehow, against all odds, manage to last.
Imagine carrying a secret within your body for decades. It is not a memory or a feeling, but something tangible, a silent passenger you never knew was there. This is the reality for a very small number of women around the world who discover they have been carrying a stone baby. This phenomenon, known in the medical world as a lithopedion, is one of the rarest and most astonishing occurrences in human medicine. It represents a story of a life that never began, yet never truly left. The body, in its incredible wisdom, performs a feat of self-preservation that is almost hard to believe, turning what could be a fatal event into a dormant, calcified relic that can remain hidden for a lifetime, sometimes for more than half a century. This is not a tale from mythology or ancient folklore. It is a documented, albeit exceptionally rare, medical condition. A lithopedion begins with a tragedy, a pregnancy that implants outside the uterus where it cannot survive. When the fetus dies and is too large for the body to reabsorb, an amazing biological process can be triggered. The mother's immune system recognizes the fetus as a foreign object. To protect itself from infection and decomposition, it slowly encases the fetus in a hard, protective layer of calcium. This process essentially mummifies the fetus, transforming it into a stone-like mass that poses no immediate threat to the mother, allowing her to continue living her life, often completely unaware of the stone child she carries within her. The stories of women who have been diagnosed with a lithopedion are profoundly human. They often involve years of unexplained chronic pain, digestive issues, or a sense of a persistent lump that doctors might misdiagnose for decades. The eventual discovery, usually made through an X-ray or CT scan for an unrelated issue, brings a mixture of shock, confusion, and a strange sense of resolution. For these women, it is the answer to a question they may not have even known how to ask. It is a physical manifestation of a lost pregnancy, a story of motherhood interrupted and preserved in the most unexpected way, challenging our understanding of the boundaries between life, death, and the body's resilience. As a neurosurgeon and a medical journalist, I have encountered many strange and wonderful things the human body can do. But the story of the stone baby stands apart. It pushes the limits of what we think is possible. It is a powerful reminder that our bodies hold mysteries we are still working to understand. This essay will explore the journey of the lithopedion, from its biological origins in an ectopic pregnancy, to the historical accounts and modern-day discoveries that continue to captivate the medical community. We will look at how the body performs this incredible act of self-defense, and consider the deep emotional impact this discovery has on the women who have carried these silent passengers for so long. The term lithopedion itself sounds like something from an ancient text, and in a way it is. The word is derived from two Greek roots, lithos, which means stone, and paidion, which means child. Together they form the hauntingly accurate description stone child. This name was first coined by the German physician Friedrich Kuchenmeister in the 19th century, but the condition itself has been documented for much longer. The earliest known account comes from the 10th century physician Al-Bukaysis, a prominent Arab surgeon. He described the condition in his writings, providing one of the first medical records of this rare phenomenon. His work showed that for over 1,000 years, doctors have been aware that under very specific circumstances, a human body can create something so extraordinary. Historical records contain several fascinating and sometimes dramatic accounts of lithopedions. One of the most famous cases is that of Madame Colombe-Chatry, a 68-year-old Frenchwoman who died in 1582. After her death, her suspicious husband and relatives requested an autopsy. To their astonishment, surgeons discovered a fully formed stone baby inside her abdomen. She had apparently carried it for 28 years. The lithopedion was so well known that it was acquired by a king and displayed for years as a medical curiosity, a testament to the awe and wonder it inspired. These early cases were often viewed through a lens of superstition, or as divine omens, before science could offer a rational explanation for their existence. These historical accounts were crucial because they provided physical evidence that this was a real medical event, not just a story. Before the invention of modern imaging technology like X-rays, the only way a lithopedion could be discovered was through an autopsy, or in the rare event that it caused a severe complication that required surgery. Each discovery added another piece to a complex puzzle. Physicians and anatomists began to study these calcified fetuses, trying to understand how they formed and why they did not kill the mother. They documented the size, the level of preservation, and the exact location within the body, slowly building a foundation of knowledge for what we understand today. The rarity of the condition is staggering. It is estimated to occur in only 0.0054% of all pregnancies. This means that for every million pregnancies, only a handful might ever have the potential to become a lithopedion. And even then, the specific conditions must be just right for calcification to occur. The fetus must develop to a certain size, the pregnancy must go unnoticed, and the mother's body must initiate the specific immune response. It is this incredible rarity that makes every documented case, whether from the 16th century or the 21st, a valuable source of medical insight. It is a condition that bridges history, connecting us to the medical mysteries of the past while still presenting challenges for doctors today. To understand how a stone baby can form, we first need to look at the beginning of its journey, an ectopic pregnancy. In a typical pregnancy, a fertilized egg travels down the fallopian tube and implants itself into the rich, nurturing lining of the uterus. This is where it has the space and blood supply to grow and develop. However, in an ectopic pregnancy, this crucial step goes wrong. The fertilized egg implants somewhere else, most commonly within the fallopian tube itself, which is known as a tubal pregnancy. It can also implant in the ovary, the cervix, or in the rarest of cases, directly in the abdominal cavity, attaching to an organ like the intestine or the liver. An abdominal pregnancy is the specific type of ectopic pregnancy that can lead to a lithopedion. This is because the fallopian tubes are narrow and cannot stretch. A pregnancy in a fallopian tube will almost always rupture early on, causing a life-threatening medical emergency. But the abdominal cavity offers more space. This allows the fetus to grow for a much longer period, sometimes for several months, before it runs out of a viable blood supply. The fetus is not protected by the uterus, so it is essentially growing in an open, unsterile environment. When the fetus eventually dies due to the lack of a proper placenta and nutrients, the stage is set for a medical marvel to unfold. Normally, when a fetus dies in the early stages of pregnancy, the body's natural processes take over and the tissue is reabsorbed. However, if the fetus has developed beyond about 12 weeks, it is too large and its skeleton has started to form, making it too big for the body to simply break down and absorb. At this point, the dead fetal tissue poses a significant risk to the mother. It could decompose and lead to a massive infection, peritonitis, and sepsis, which would likely be fatal. The mother's life is in grave danger. It is precisely at this critical moment that the body's most remarkable defense mechanism can be activated, initiating the process of calcification. This is where the journey to becoming a stone baby truly begins. The mother's immune system identifies the dead fetus as a large, foreign, and potentially dangerous object. Instead of launching a typical inflammatory attack, which could be harmful in itself, the body begins a slow, methodical process of walling it off. It is a biological quarantine. This response is not unique to a fetus. The body can sometimes calcify other foreign objects like surgical sponges left behind by accident. But the transformation of a once developing life into a sterile stone-like form is a unique and powerful example of the body prioritizing the survival of the mother above all else, creating a silent monument to a life that could not be. The history of medicine is filled with incredible stories of lithopedions that honestly sound more like fiction than fact. Beyond the famous case of Madame Chatry from 1582, there's the equally astonishing story of the stone baby of Sens. In the mid-16th century, a woman named Colombe Chatry reportedly carried a lithopedion for nearly 3 decades. After her death, an autopsy revealed the calcified fetus, which actually became a celebrated medical specimen. It was so well preserved that it was examined by prominent physicians of the era and even purchased by the King of Denmark for his collection of curiosities. This case, documented in detail, really helped to cement the lithopedion as a genuine, if baffling, medical condition in the minds of European doctors. Another compelling historical case comes from Leinzell, Germany, in 1720. A woman named Anna Molnar died at the age of 94. During an autopsy, a grapefruit-sized lithopedion was found in her abdomen. What makes her story particularly remarkable is the belief that she had carried the stone baby for an estimated 46 years. For nearly half a century, she lived with this calcified fetus inside her, likely experiencing intermittent pain or discomfort that was never correctly diagnosed. These historical examples, preserved in medical literature, paint a picture of women who endured their mysterious conditions in silence, living in an era before medicine had the tools to understand or explain what was happening inside their own bodies, let alone offer a solution. Fast forward to the modern era, and while lithopedions remain incredibly rare, they're still being discovered, often thanks to advanced imaging technology. In 2013, an 82-year-old woman in Colombia went to the hospital complaining of pelvic pain. Doctors initially suspected she had gastroenteritis or maybe a tumor. However, an X-ray revealed something unbelievable. A 40-year-old 4-pound lithopedion in her abdominal cavity. She had carried this stone baby for 4 decades without knowing what it was. Her case made international headlines, serving as a vivid reminder that this ancient medical mystery continues to appear in our modern world, baffling a new generation of physicians. An even more recent case emerged in 2015, involving a 91-year-old woman from Chile named Estela Melendez. She went to the hospital after a fall, and an X-ray of her pelvis showed not just a fracture, but also a large, calcified mass. Doctors were stunned to realize it was a fetus that had been there for over 60 years. She had been married for 74 years, and was sadly never able to have children, and she said she had always felt a lump in her abdomen but had never known why. The discovery provided a bittersweet answer to a lifetime of questions. Due to her advanced age, doctors decided against surgery to remove it, and she continued to live with her silent stone child, a poignant symbol of a motherhood she never experienced. The process of calcification that creates a lithopedion is really a masterful act of self-preservation. It's the body building a fortress from the inside out. When an abdominal pregnancy ends and the fetus is too large to be reabsorbed, the immune system has to act to prevent a catastrophic infection. The dead tissue, if left exposed, would begin to decompose, releasing bacteria and toxins directly into the abdominal cavity. This would almost certainly lead to peritonitis, which is a severe and often fatal inflammation of the lining of the abdomen. To avert this disaster, the body initiates a process called dystrophic calcification, a defense mechanism usually reserved for dealing with damaged or dead tissue. This process is slow and meticulous, unfolding over many years, sometimes even decades. First, the body's immune cells, like macrophages, surround the dead fetus and try to break it down. When they fail, they trigger a different response. The body starts to deposit layers of calcium phosphate and other minerals onto the surface of the fetal membranes and the fetus itself. You can kind of think of it like the way an oyster forms a pearl around a grain of sand. The irritant, in this case the fetus, is slowly coated layer by layer until it's completely sealed off from the rest of the body. This calcium shell creates an aseptic or sterile environment, effectively mummifying the fetus and neutralizing the threat it poses. There are 3 main classifications of lithopedion, based on where the calcification occurs. The most common type is lithokelphos, where the calcification forms on the fetal membranes, creating a hard, egg-like shell around a fetus that is not itself calcified. The second type, lithopedion proper or true lithopedion, is when the fetus itself becomes infiltrated with calcium salts, turning its own tissues into stone. The third and rarest type is lithokelphopedion, which is a combination of the first two, where both the fetus and its surrounding membranes become heavily calcified. Each type represents a slightly different immunological response, but the end result is the same: the creation of a stable, inert mass. What's truly remarkable is that this process is so effective that the woman can go on to live a normal, healthy life. The lithopedion becomes in essence a benign and sterile part of her anatomy. While some women report chronic pain or pressure on their organs, many experience no symptoms at all. It's a testament to the body's incredible ability to adapt and protect itself in the most extreme circumstances. The calcified fetus is a monument to a failed pregnancy, but it's also a monument to the success of the mother's immune system. It's a biological shield, a silent, stony protector that stands guard for a lifetime, ensuring the mother's survival. The discovery of a lithopedion is, honestly, far more than just a medical diagnosis. It's a deeply emotional and psychologically complex event. For the women involved, it unearths a past they may have forgotten or never fully understood. Many of these women are elderly, having carried their stone baby for 40, 50, or even 60 years. The news often comes as a complete shock, forcing them to confront a lost pregnancy from their youth. It can bring a sudden rush of grief for a child they never knew they lost, mixed with a profound sense of bewilderment. They must grapple with the idea that they have carried this secret, this physical reminder of what might have been, inside them for most of their lives. This discovery can also provide a strange form of validation. Many of these women, like Estela Melendez from Chile, suffered from infertility and the social stigma that often came with it. They may have spent their lives feeling a sense of loss or incompleteness. The discovery of a lithopedion confirms that they were, in fact, pregnant. It's a physical truth that validates their experience of motherhood, even if it was a motherhood that was tragically interrupted. For some, this can bring a sense of peace or closure, an answer to a lifelong question of what if. It transforms a vague, unexplained abdominal lump or chronic pain into something with a name and a story, albeit a sad one. In many cultures, pregnancy and childbirth are deeply significant events, and an inability to have children can carry a heavy social weight. The discovery of a stone baby can be interpreted in various ways depending on cultural and personal beliefs. In some communities, it might be seen as a curse or a bad omen leading to fear and isolation. In others, it might be viewed with a sense of wonder or even reverence as a sign of something miraculous. The woman herself must navigate these interpretations while processing her own personal feelings. She becomes the keeper of an incredible story, one that can be difficult to share and even more difficult for others to comprehend. Ultimately, the emotional impact is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. These women have lived full lives, often while carrying a significant physical and unknowingly emotional burden. The diagnosis forces them to reevaluate their life story, to incorporate this unbelievable chapter into their personal history. It's a story of loss, but also of survival. The body's ability to protect the mother is mirrored by the woman's emotional ability to process and live with this extraordinary truth. It's a powerful reminder that the stories written on our bodies are often the most profound, telling tales of life, loss, and the incredible strength to endure. In today's world of advanced medical technology, it may seem surprising that a condition like lithopedion can still go undetected for so long. The primary reason is that its symptoms are often vague and easily mistaken for other more common ailments. A woman with a lithopedion might complain of chronic abdominal pain, digestive problems, or a feeling of a hard mass in her pelvis. These symptoms could lead doctors to suspect a wide range of conditions, from benign tumors and fibroids to gastrointestinal issues or hernias. Without a specific reason to look for something so incredibly rare, a lithopedion is simply not on most physicians' diagnostic radar. The truth often remains hidden until an unrelated medical issue prompts an imaging study. The definitive diagnosis of a lithopedion almost always comes from an X-ray, Connecticut scan, or MRI. These imaging technologies can cut through the ambiguity and reveal the unmistakable calcified outline of a fetus. For the radiologist who first sees it, it's a moment of pure astonishment. They're looking at a medical ghost, a perfectly preserved artifact from decades past, locked inside a living person. Once discovered, the medical team is faced with a difficult decision: what to do next. For many elderly patients, like the 91-year-old Estela Melendez, the risks of major surgery to remove the lithopedion outweigh the potential benefits, especially if it is not causing severe symptoms. In these cases, the decision is often to leave the stone baby in place. This raises a fascinating point about modern medicine. Even with all our knowledge and technology, the human body continues to hold deep mysteries. The lithopedion is a powerful symbol of this. It represents the intersection of life and death, frozen in time. It is a biological process that is both morbid and beautiful, a tragedy that is transformed into a feat of survival. Each new case that emerges is a valuable opportunity for the medical community to learn. It provides data on the long-term effects of carrying a lithopedion and offers insights into the incredible capabilities of the human immune system. It forces us to appreciate the body's wisdom and its profound drive to protect itself. The story of the stone baby is ultimately a story of endurance. It's about the physical endurance of the body, which walls off a threat and carries on for decades. And it's about the emotional endurance of the women who discover this unbelievable truth about their own bodies and their past. The Lithopedian reminds us that not all stories have a clear beginning or end. Some stories are carried silently, written in bone and calcium, waiting for the right moment to be read. It's a testament to the strange, resilient, and utterly mysterious nature of human life, a rare and poignant whisper from the boundary between what could have been and what is.
In the world of Demon Slayer, darkness falls every night. With it comes a terrible fear. This is the time when demons emerge from the shadows. They hunt humans for food, bringing tragedy to countless families. These creatures are not mere monsters, they were once human themselves. Twisted by the blood of a powerful demon, they lost their memories and their humanity. They gained incredible strength, regenerative abilities, and a relentless hunger for human flesh. This constant threat forces people to live in fear, locking their doors and praying for the sun to rise. The night is a long and dangerous time, filled with whispers of monsters that lurk just beyond the light. The society in Demon Slayer is built around this fundamental conflict. The existence of demons has shaped how people live, travel, and even think. Villages are isolated, and travel after sunset is considered a death sentence. The fear is palpable, a heavy blanket that smothers hope in many communities. The stories of demon attacks are passed down through generations, becoming cautionary tales for children. Yet amidst this widespread terror, a small but dedicated group of warriors fights back. They are the last line of defense for humanity, a beacon of light in a world consumed by darkness. They operate in secret, unknown to the general public, waging a hidden war to protect the innocent from the horrors of the night. This eternal struggle between humans and demons is the very heart of the story. It is a battle not just of swords and supernatural powers, but of ideologies. The demons represent despair, selfishness, and the loss of one's soul for the sake of power and survival. They prey on the weak and embody the darkest aspects of existence. On the other hand, the humans who fight them represent hope, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds of family and friendship. They fight not for personal gain, but for the protection of others, holding on to their humanity even when faced with overwhelming odds. This clash of values is what makes every confrontation so meaningful and emotionally charged. The conflict is ancient, stretching back for centuries. It is a cycle of violence and sorrow that seems to have no end. For every demon slain, another seems to rise, created by the same dark source. This endless war has created a world steeped in grief, where loss is a common experience. Families are torn apart, dreams are shattered, and the weight of survival presses down on everyone. It is into this grim and unforgiving world that our heroes are born, destined to challenge this cycle of despair. Their journey is not just about defeating monsters, it is about finding a way to restore balance and bring a lasting peace to a world that has known only conflict for far too long. The story begins with a kind-hearted boy named Tanjiro Kamado. He lives a simple but happy life in the mountains with his family. He sells charcoal in a nearby town to support his mother and younger siblings. Tanjiro is known for his strong sense of smell and his unwavering compassion for others. His world is shattered one fateful day when he returns home to find his entire family brutally murdered by a demon. The only survivor is his younger sister, Nezuko, but she has been turned into a demon herself. This single horrific event sets Tanjiro on a path he never could have imagined, transforming him from a gentle boy into a determined warrior on a desperate quest. Driven by love for his sister, Tanjiro's mission becomes clear. He vows to find a way to turn Nezuko back into a human. Remarkably, Nezuko retains a fragment of her human will. She refuses to consume human flesh and instead protects Tanjiro from other demons. This unique bond between a human brother and his demon sister becomes the emotional core of the entire series. Tanjiro carries Nezuko in a special wooden box on his back, shielding her from the sunlight that is deadly to demons. Their journey together is one of incredible hardship and sacrifice, but their love for each other gives them the strength to persevere against all odds. To achieve his goal, Tanjiro decides to join the Demon Slayer Corps. This is a secret organization of swordsmen who have dedicated their lives to fighting demons. He undergoes brutally intense training under the tutelage of Sakonji Urokodaki, a former Hashira. Tanjiro learns the art of breathing styles, special sword techniques that grant users superhuman strength and speed. He masters the water-breathing style and later discovers his connection to the legendary sun-breathing, the original and most powerful style. His journey to become a demon slayer is not just about learning to fight. It is about honing his resolve and preparing himself for the terrifying dangers that lie ahead. Throughout his travels, Tanjiro encounters many allies who join him in his fight. He befriends the cowardly but powerful Zenitsu Agatsuma, who can only fight when he is unconscious, and the wild, boar-headed Inosuke Hashibira, who was raised by boars in the mountains. Together, this unlikely trio faces increasingly powerful demons, growing stronger with each battle. The Demon Slayer Corps itself is led by the 9 most powerful swordsmen, the Hashira. These elite warriors become both mentors and challenges for Tanjiro, pushing him to surpass his limits. His quest is no longer a solitary one. It becomes a shared struggle for the future of humanity. The source of all demons and the ultimate antagonist of the story is Muzan Kibutsuji. He is the original demon, the first of his kind, and the one responsible for creating all other demons. Muzan has lived for over 1,000 years, operating from the shadows and manipulating events to ensure his own survival. He is a creature of pure evil, driven by a selfish desire for perfection and immortality. He views humans as nothing more than food and tools for his experiments. His presence casts a long, dark shadow over the world, and his name alone is enough to strike terror into the hearts of both humans and the demons he commands. Muzan's primary motive is simple, yet all-consuming. He wants to conquer the sun. Despite his immense power, he has one critical weakness. Like all other demons, he will be disintegrated if exposed to sunlight. This limitation infuriates him as it prevents him from achieving true, perfect immortality. For centuries, he has been searching for a way to overcome this vulnerability. His main strategy involves searching for the blue spider lily, a mythical flower he believes can grant him immunity to the sun. His other plan is to create a demon who can conquer the sun, hoping to then absorb that demon and gain its ability. This relentless pursuit is the driving force behind all his actions. He commands his demons with an iron fist, ruling through fear and intimidation. Muzan can share his blood to turn humans into demons, and he can also monitor and control them through this connection. He has placed a curse on every demon he creates. If any of them dare to speak his name, they will be destroyed from within. This ensures their absolute loyalty and secrecy. He is a cruel and narcissistic master, showing no care for his subordinates. He will kill his own demons for the slightest failure or sign of weakness. His followers, particularly the powerful upper moons, serve him out of a mixture of awe, fear, and a twisted sense of devotion. Muzan is the demon who murdered Tanjiro's family and turned Nezuko into a demon. This makes the conflict deeply personal for Tanjiro. Muzan is not just a distant, abstract evil. He is the direct source of Tanjiro's pain and suffering. The quest to defeat Muzan is therefore intertwined with Tanjiro's quest to save his sister. Muzan, for his part, becomes obsessed with Nezuko when he learns she is a demon who has conquered the sun. He sees her as the key to achieving his own goals and relentlessly hunts her down. This sets up the final, epic confrontation between the Demon Slayer Corps and the progenitor of demons. Muzan Kibutsuji's primary hideout is a place that defies logic and the laws of physics, the Infinity Castle. This is not a building made of stone and wood, but an extra-dimensional space that exists outside of normal reality. It serves as the main headquarters for Muzan and his most powerful subordinates, the 12 Kizuki. From the outside, there is no entrance. One can only be brought into the castle by a specific demon with the ability to manipulate its dimensions. The castle is a physical manifestation of Muzan's twisted mind, a chaotic, endlessly shifting labyrinth designed to confuse and trap any intruders. It is a fortress of despair, a place where hope goes to die. Visually, the Infinity Castle is a breathtaking and terrifying sight. It is a seemingly endless complex of traditional Japanese-style rooms, corridors, staircases, and bridges, all connected at impossible angles. Floors become ceilings and stairways lead to nowhere or suddenly change direction. The entire structure is constantly in motion, with entire sections rotating, shifting, and reconfiguring themselves in an instant. There is no natural light, only an eerie, dim glow that illuminates the bizarre architecture. The atmosphere is heavy and oppressive, filled with a sense of dread and disorientation. It is a place where one's sense of direction is completely useless, making it the perfect lair for a being who thrives on chaos and control. The castle's impossible geometry is its greatest defense. It is designed to separate and isolate intruders, preventing them from working together. A group of demon slayers entering the castle could be instantly scattered across its vast, ever-changing landscape. Each slayer would find themselves alone, forced to face a powerful demon in a one-on-one battle. This strategy allows Muzan and his upper moons to pick off their enemies one by one, maximizing their advantage. The castle itself is a weapon, actively working against those who would dare to challenge its master. Navigating its corridors is a battle in itself, even before encountering any demons. Beyond its physical structure, the Infinity Castle is a symbol of Muzan's power and paranoia. He created this fortress not just for defense, but to exert absolute control over his environment. Every wall, every floor, and every door moves according to his will, or the will of the demon he has entrusted with its command. It reflects his narcissistic belief that the entire world should bend to his desires. The castle is his personal kingdom, a place where the rules of nature do not apply. For the demon slayers, invading the Infinity Castle means stepping into the heart of the enemy's power, a place where the very ground beneath their feet is hostile. The master of the Infinity Castle's shifting dimensions is a mysterious and quiet demon named Nakim. She's known as the Biwa demon because she controls the castle's structure by playing a 4-string Japanese lute called a baiwa. With just a single strum of her instrument, she can rearrange the entire fortress. Nakim can create new rooms, move existing ones, and transport anyone within the castle to a different location instantly. She's the gatekeeper and the architect of Muzan's lair. And honestly, her ability makes her one of the most crucial demons in Muzan's service, since she's the one maintaining the integrity and defense of their headquarters. Nakim's role is initially a passive one. For much of the story, she's seen silently playing her biwa, summoning the upper moons to meetings at Muzan's command. She rarely speaks, and her face is hidden behind her long, dark hair, which, gives her an unsettling and enigmatic presence. Her power isn't overtly offensive like the other upper moons, but it's incredibly formidable. By controlling the battlefield, she can disorient and separate even the most powerful Hashira, making them vulnerable to attack. Nakim can create walls to block incoming attacks, or open a passageway to drop an enemy into the waiting clutches of another demon. Her control over the castle is, absolute. During the final arc of the story, Nakim's importance grows dramatically. After the death of Upper Moon 4, Hantengu, Muzan promotes Nakim to the rank of Upper Moon 4, recognizing her immense value and power. During the final battle, she traps the entire Demon Slayer Corps, including all the remaining Hashira within the Infinity Castle. Her mission is to hold them there, to separate them and keep them occupied while Muzan recovers and prepares for his final confrontation. She becomes a central figure in the battle, single-handedly fighting against multiple Hashira by constantly manipulating the environment around them. The fight against Nakim proves to be one of the most difficult challenges for the Demon Slayers. The Serpent Hashira, Obanai Iguro, and the Love Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji, are tasked with defeating her. However, they find it nearly impossible to land a blow. Every time they get close, Nakima strums her biwa and moves the room or creates a barrier between them. They're unable to reach her, stuck in a frustrating and exhausting battle against the castle itself. Her defeat ultimately comes not from a direct attack, but from the demon slayer Yushiro, who uses his own blood demon art to interfere with her vision and hijack her control over the castle. A true testament to Nakimi's unique and powerful abilities. The Infinity Castle is home to the most powerful demons under Muzan's command, the Upper Moons. These are the top 6 demons in the 12 Kizuki, an elite group who have received a larger quantity of Muzan's blood, granting them extraordinary power. Each upper moon has lived for centuries, killing countless humans and dozens of Hashira. They are the greatest threat to the Demon Slayer Corps, and each one is a formidable opponent with a unique and deadly blood demon art. They gather in the Infinity Castle for meetings with Muzan, where they receive their orders and report on their progress in finding the Blue Spider Lily. Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo, is the most powerful of them all, second only to Muzan himself. He was once a human and a demon slayer in the feudal era, the twin brother of the legendary Yoriichi Tsugikuni, the creator of sun-breathing. Consumed by jealousy of his brother's immense talent, he chose to become a demon to surpass him and perfect his own sword style, moon-breathing. Kokushibo is a master swordsman with 6 eyes that give him incredible perception. His presence is overwhelming and his skills are so refined that he can fight multiple Hashira at once. He represents the tragedy of ambition and the corruption of a noble warrior. Upper Moon 2, Doma, has a friendly and charismatic demeanor that hides a completely empty and psychopathic nature. He is a nihilist who feels no emotions at all, and he views killing and eating humans, particularly women, as an act of salvation. He is the leader of a religious cult where he preys on his followers. His blood demon art allows him to create and manipulate ice, generating razor-sharp ice dust that freezes his opponent's lungs. Doma is responsible for the deaths of Shinobu Kocho's sister and Inosuke's mother, making the fights against him deeply personal for several characters. He is a truly disturbing figure, representing emptiness masquerading as compassion. Upper Moon 3, Akaza, is a martial arts master who despises weakness and respects strength. As a human, he suffered immense loss, which led him down a dark path even before becoming a demon. His blood demon art, Destructive Death, allows him to create powerful shockwaves with his punches and kicks. He also has a unique ability to sense the fighting spirit of his opponents, allowing him to predict their moves. Akaza has a personal code. He refuses to kill or eat women. He is the demon who killed the flame Hashira Kyojuro Rengoku in a devastating battle that left a profound impact on Tanjiro. Akaza's story is one of tragic loss and a desperate search for strength. The final arc of Demon Slayer transforms the Infinity Castle into the ultimate battleground. The entire Demon Slayer Corps is pulled into this shifting labyrinth for a final desperate war against Muzan and his remaining upper moons. The castle's disorienting nature immediately separates the Slayers, leading to a series of intense and emotional one-on-one and group battles. These fights are not just tests of strength, but climactic moments of character development, sacrifice, and resolution. Each battle pushes the heroes to their absolute limits, forcing them to confront their pasts and fight for a future free from demons. The castle becomes a stage for their greatest triumphs and most heartbreaking losses. One of the most emotional battles is the fight between the insect Hashira, Shinobu Kocho, and the Upper Moon 2, Doma. Shinobu knows she is not physically strong enough to decapitate a powerful demon like Doma. Instead, she devises a sacrificial plan. She allows Doma to absorb her, having spent a year ingesting wisteria poison, which is lethal to demons. Her entire body has become a weapon. This act of self-sacrifice weakens Doma enough for her protégé, Kanao Tsuyuri and Inosuke, to land the final blow. The battle is a testament to Shinobu's incredible intelligence and resolve, and it provides a powerful, albeit tragic, conclusion to her quest for revenge for her sister's death. Another key confrontation is the grueling battle against Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo. 3 Hashira, the Stone Hashira Gyome Himejima, the Wind Hashira Sanemi Shinazugawa, and the Mist Hashira Muchiro Tokito, along with Genya Shinazugawa, team up to fight him. The battle is incredibly fierce, pushing even the strongest Hashira to the brink of death. Muchiro, who is a descendant of Kokushibo, sacrifices his life to land a critical blow. Genya is also fatally wounded. Their combined efforts, along with Gyome's and Sanemi's immense power, finally bring down the most powerful Upper Moon. This victory comes at an immense cost, highlighting the theme of passing the torch to the next generation. The fight against Upper Moon 3, Akaza, is also a pivotal moment. Tanjiro and the Water Hashira, Giyu Tomioka, face him together. During the battle, Tanjiro reaches a new state of enlightenment known as the selfless state, allowing him to fight without any fighting spirit, which makes him invisible to Akaza's senses. As he is about to be defeated, Akaza's human memories of his beloved fiancé and father resurface. He remembers his desire to protect, not destroy. In a moment of clarity, he chooses to destroy himself rather than continue living as a monster. This battle explores the themes of redemption and the lingering humanity that can exist even within a demon. The Infinity Castle, a seemingly impenetrable fortress, could not be destroyed by conventional means. Its non-Euclidean structure and constant shifting made it impossible to attack from the outside or to dismantle from within. Its fate was directly tied to its controller. Initially, this was Nakim, the Biwa demon. The demon slayers realized that to escape the labyrinth and corner Muzan, they had to defeat her. However, her ability to manipulate space made her an untouchable opponent. The key to the castle's undoing came from an unexpected source, demonstrating that brute force is not always the answer to every problem. The plan to take control of the castle was enacted by Yushiro, the demon companion of Tomeo. Yushiro's blood demon art allows him to conceal or reveal things using paper talismans, including the ability to manipulate and disrupt another's senses. He manages to attach one of his talismans to Nakim's head, allowing him to hijack her field of vision and, by extension, her control over the castle. This creates a mental battle between Yushiro and Muzan, who tries to wrest back control of Nakim. The struggle for the castle's command becomes a desperate tug-of-war, with the entire structure shaking and contorting violently as they fight for dominance. As Muzan grows more desperate to regain control and eliminate the Slayers, he makes a ruthless decision. Realizing that Yushiro's influence over Nakim is too strong, Muzan chooses to destroy her himself. He crushes her head from within, killing her instantly. With its master gone, the Infinity Castle loses its structural integrity. The extra-dimensional space begins to crumble and collapse in on itself. This act of cold-blooded pragmatism from Muzan is what ultimately leads to the fortress's destruction. He sacrifices his own upper moon and his greatest defense in a final, desperate bid to turn the tables on the demon slayers. The collapse of the Infinity Castle is a dramatic and chaotic event. The endless rooms and corridors begin to break apart, and the entire structure is violently ejected back into the physical world, surfacing in a city above ground. The surviving demon slayers and Muzan himself are thrown out onto the streets as the castle disintegrates behind them. The fall of the fortress signifies the end of the labyrinthine chase. There are no more walls to hide behind, no more tricks of space and dimension. The final battle between the Demon Slayer Corps and Muzan Kibutsuji is forced out into the open to be decided under the looming threat of the rising sun. The Infinity Castle is far more than just a physical location in the world of Demon Slayer. It stands as a powerful symbol of Muzan Kibutsuji's psyche. Its chaotic, disorienting, and endlessly complex nature perfectly mirrors his own twisted mind. It is a reflection of his narcissism, his desire for absolute control, and his deep-seated paranoia. The castle has no foundation, no connection to the natural world, just like Muzan himself, who has severed all ties to his own humanity. It is a lonely, sterile place built not for community or comfort, but as a monument to one being's selfish will. Its cold, inorganic nature represents the emptiness at the core of demonic existence. The castle also represents the theme of despair. For the demon slayers, being drawn into it is like being swallowed by hopelessness itself. It is a place designed to break their spirits, to separate them from their comrades, and to force them into unwinnable battles. The shifting walls and impossible corridors create a sense of powerlessness, suggesting that resistance is futile. Every corner turned could lead to a powerful enemy or simply to more confusion. The Infinity Castle is the ultimate manifestation of the psychological warfare that Muzan wages against humanity. It is a physical embodiment of the fear and despair he wishes to spread throughout the world. However, even within this fortress of despair, the story finds moments of profound hope and courage. The battles that take place within its walls are not just about survival, they are about the triumph of the human spirit. The demon slayers fight on despite the overwhelming odds, their bonds of friendship and love serving as a light in the darkness. Sacrifices like Shinobu's and Muichiro's are not acts of desperation, but calculated, heroic choices made for the sake of a better future. The castle, intended to be a place of isolation, ironically becomes the very stage where the strength of their camaraderie is proven to be unbreakable. Ultimately, the destruction of the Infinity Castle symbolizes the shattering of Muzan's reign of terror. When it collapses and is forced out into the open world, it signifies that Muzan's secrets and deceptions are finally over. He can no longer hide in his manufactured reality. He must face the consequences of his actions in the real world, under the same sun he has feared for a millennium. The fall of the castle is a victory for hope over despair, for order over chaos, and for the collective strength of humanity over the selfish tyranny of one individual. It is a powerful reminder that even the most formidable fortresses of fear can be brought down by courage and sacrifice.
The telescope fish, a fascinating creature of the deep, is one of nature's most intriguing adaptations. Found primarily in the dark depths of the ocean, this fish is known for its unique, protruding eyes that resemble telescopes. These eyes are not just for show, they are perfectly adapted to the low-light environment of the deep sea, allowing the telescope fish to spot prey and predators alike in the dimmest of conditions. What's truly remarkable about the telescope fish is its ability to see above and below simultaneously. This dual vision gives it a significant advantage in the hunt for food, as it can detect both potential meals and threats without having to move. Imagine being able to scan your surroundings in two directions at once. This fish has mastered that skill. The telescope fish typically inhabits the mesopelagic zone, which ranges from about 200 to 1,000 meters below the ocean's surface. This region is often referred to as the twilight zone, where light begins to fade and the pressure increases. The adaptations of the telescope fish are a testament to the incredible resilience of life in such extreme environments. Its body is elongated and streamlined, allowing it to navigate through the water with ease, while its bioluminescent features help it communicate and attract mates in the dark. Interestingly, the telescope fish is part of a larger family known as Opisthoproctidae, which includes several other unique species. These fish are not just solitary creatures, they often form schools, which can provide safety in numbers against larger predators. When threatened, they can quickly dart away, using their speed to escape danger. The diet of the telescope fish primarily consists of small crustaceans and plankton. With its specialized eyes, it can spot these tiny organisms from a distance, making it an efficient hunter. The feeding strategy of the telescope fish is quite fascinating. It often uses a technique called filter feeding, where it opens its mouth wide to take in water and trap food particles. This method allows it to consume a significant amount of food with minimal effort. Despite their intriguing adaptations, telescope fish are not well studied, largely due to their deep-sea habitat. The challenges of exploring such depths mean that many aspects of their behavior and ecology remain a mystery. Scientists are continually working to uncover more about these enigmatic creatures, and each new discovery sheds light on the complexities of ocean life. The telescope fish also plays a role in the broader marine ecosystem. As both predator and prey, it contributes to the balance of the food web in its environment. Understanding its role can help scientists gauge the health of deep-sea ecosystems, which are often overlooked in conservation efforts. In conclusion, the telescope fish is a remarkable example of evolution's creativity. Its adaptations for life in the deep sea are not only fascinating, but also crucial for its survival. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the ocean, the telescope fish stands as a symbol of the wonders that lie beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered. America is a land steeped in mysteries, each one more intriguing than the last. Take, for instance, the enigmatic disappearance of the Roanoke colony in the late 16th century. Established in 1585, this settlement vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the word Croatoan carved into a tree. What happened to those early settlers? Did they assimilate with local tribes, or did they meet a more sinister fate? The truth remains elusive, fueling speculation and theories for centuries. Then there's the legend of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine in Arizona. Supposedly hidden in the Superstition Mountains, this treasure has lured countless treasure hunters, many of whom have vanished without a trace. The mine is said to be cursed, with tales of misfortune befalling those who seek its riches. Is it a mere myth, or is there a fortune waiting to be uncovered? Moving on to the mysterious Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This creature, described as a large humanoid with glowing red eyes and wings, was sighted in the 1960s, coinciding with a series of strange events, including the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge. Was the Mothman a harbinger of doom, or simply a figment of collective imagination? The sightings continue, keeping the legend alive and sparking curiosity. And who could forget the secrets of Area 51? This highly classified U.S. Air Force facility has long been the subject of UFO conspiracy theories. What exactly goes on behind those gates? While the government maintains it's a testing ground for experimental aircraft, the allure of extraterrestrial life and advanced technology keeps the speculation swirling. Are we alone in the universe, or is there more to discover? Let's not overlook the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, a region in the North Atlantic where ships and planes have inexplicably vanished. Theories range from magnetic anomalies to alien abductions. Despite extensive research, the triangle remains an enigma, captivating the imaginations of adventurers and scientists alike. Finally, there's the story of the Winchester Mystery House in California. This sprawling mansion built by Sarah Winchester features staircases that lead to nowhere and doors that open into walls. Legend has it that Sarah believed she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, and she constructed the house to appease them. The result is a bizarre architectural wonder that continues to draw visitors eager to uncover its secrets. These mysteries are woven into the fabric of American folklore, each one a testament to our fascination with the unknown. They remind us that, despite our advancements, there are still questions that linger, waiting for someone brave enough to seek the answers. Slime molds are one of nature's most fascinating organisms, and they challenge our traditional understanding of life. They're not quite fungi, not quite plants, and definitely not animals. Instead, they belong to a unique group of protists. What's truly captivating is their ability to exist in two distinct forms: the single-celled amoeba and the multicellular plasmodium. When conditions are right, like when there's plenty of moisture and food, these tiny amoebas come together to form a larger multicellular structure. This is where the magic happens. In this plasmodial stage, they can move and behave almost like a single organism, flowing and merging to explore their environment. It's like watching a living, breathing blob. One of the most intriguing aspects of slime molds is their problem-solving abilities. Researchers have conducted experiments that reveal their remarkable intelligence. For instance, in a famous study, scientists placed food sources on a map that represented a city. The slime mold, when given time, created a network of tubes that connected the food sources in the most efficient way possible, mimicking the layout of the actual city's subway system. This suggests that they can optimize routes and make decisions without a brain or nervous system. Their life cycle is equally fascinating. Slime molds begin as spores, which hatch into tiny amoebas. These amoebas feed on bacteria and organic matter, growing and dividing until they reach a critical mass. Then they aggregate, forming a multicellular mass that can move toward light or food. When conditions become unfavorable, they can revert to a spore state, ensuring their survival until the environment improves. This adaptability is a key reason they've thrived for millions of years. Another remarkable feature of slime molds is their ability to communicate. They use chemical signals to share information about food sources and danger. When one slime mold finds food, it releases a chemical signal that attracts others. This collective behavior is a prime example of how simple organisms can exhibit complex social interactions. Slime molds also play a crucial role in ecosystems. They help decompose organic material, recycling nutrients back into the soil. This process is vital for maintaining healthy ecosystems as it supports plant growth and contributes to soil fertility. Without slime molds, we would see a significant disruption in these natural cycles. Their vibrant colors and unique shapes make them a favorite among scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. You might find them in your backyard, often appearing as yellow, orange, or even purple blobs. They thrive in damp, shady environments like decaying wood or leaf litter. In recent years, slime molds have even inspired innovations in technology. Researchers are studying their networks to develop algorithms for optimizing transportation systems and improving data networks. The way they navigate their environment could lead to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence and robotics. So, the next time you come across a slime mold, take a moment to appreciate this incredible organism. It's a reminder of the complexity and interconnectedness of life on Earth, and how even the simplest forms can teach us profound lessons about survival, cooperation, and intelligence. Slime molds are not just blobs of goo, they are a testament to the wonders of evolution and the mysteries of nature.
DeepSeek was once a name that echoed through the tech community, a promising startup that aimed to revolutionize the way we interact with data. Founded a few years back, it quickly gained traction for its innovative approach to deep learning and data analytics. The vision was ambitious: to create a platform that could sift through massive datasets, providing insights that were not only actionable, but also easy to understand. In its early days, DeepSeek attracted significant attention from investors and tech enthusiasts alike. The team was filled with brilliant minds, engineers, and data scientists who were passionate about harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. They launched their beta version, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Users loved the intuitive interface and the speed at which it processed information. It seemed like DeepSeek was on the fast track to success. However, as with many startups, the journey wasn't without its challenges. As they scaled, they faced intense competition from established players in the market. Companies with deeper pockets and more resources began to roll out similar features, making it harder for DeepSeek to stand out. The pressure mounted, and the team had to make some tough decisions. They pivoted their strategy, focusing on niche markets where they could leverage their unique strengths. This shift was crucial, but it also meant they had to let go of some original ideas that had initially defined the brand. Fast forward to today, and DeepSeek has managed to stabilize its position in the market. They've carved out a niche in sectors like healthcare and finance, where their data analytics tools are being used to drive significant improvements in decision-making processes. The platform has evolved, integrating more advanced machine learning algorithms and user-friendly features that cater specifically to the needs of these industries. What's fascinating is how DeepSeek has embraced feedback from its user base. They've built a community around their product, encouraging users to share their experiences and suggestions. This has not only improved the platform, but has also fostered a sense of loyalty among its users. Financially, they've secured additional funding, which has allowed them to invest in research and development. This investment is paying off, as they are now rolling out new features that leverage cutting-edge technology, such as predictive analytics and real-time data processing. Looking at the broader picture, DeepSeek is a testament to resilience in the tech world. They've faced setbacks but have adapted and evolved. Their journey highlights the importance of flexibility and user engagement in the ever-changing landscape of technology. While they may not be the household name they once aspired to be, they are certainly making waves in their chosen fields, proving that sometimes success isn't about being the biggest fish in the pond, but about finding the right pond to thrive in.
There are human achievements that redefine what is possible. The pyramids, the moon landing, the internet. But in modern times, one structure stands apart. A construction so vast that it didn't just transform a river, an economy, or a nation. It altered the very rotation of the planet itself. Welcome to the story of the Three Gorges Dam, the megastructure that slowed the Earth. This is a story of ambition, sacrifice, and consequences on a planetary scale. To understand it, we begin with the river at the heart of China, the Yangtze. A story stretching centuries, built on water and its power. This is their river, their lifeline. And for generations, the Yangtze gave life, and sometimes death. The Yangtze stretches over 6,300 kilometers, Asia's longest river, once the lifeblood of entire regions. Farmers relied on its waters to irrigate rice paddies. Fishermen cast nets into its depths. Entire cities grew along its banks, thriving on transport and trade. But the Yangtze is also a river of destruction. In 1931, floods killed an estimated 4 million people, one of history's deadliest disasters. Later floods in 1954, 1998, and 2010 displaced millions more. Generations of leaders believed the river had to be controlled to secure the nation's future. The idea of control became a national obsession, and so the thought of a dam across the Yangtze moved from dream to plan. As early as 1919, Sun Yat-sen suggested a dam could prevent floods and generate electricity. The vision predated modern engineering, an idea ahead of its time. In the 1940s, American engineers surveyed the Yangtze for potential dam sites. Mao Zedong revived the dream in 1956, declaring we should build a dam larger than Aswan. Yet for decades, the project remained a fantasy, costly and technically daunting. As China rose in the late 20th century, the dream returned, stronger than ever. By the 1990s, planning turned into commitment. What followed was one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever attempted. In 1994, construction officially began on the Three Gorges Dam. The project demanded sacrifices on an unimaginable scale. Entire landscapes were reshaped as concrete rose across the Yangtze. More than 1.3 million people were forced to relocate as towns disappeared beneath the reservoir. Many were resettled in hastily built towns, struggling to rebuild their lives. Farmers who had tilled the same land for generations were uprooted. Archaeological sites and ancient temples were submerged, history lost beneath water. Internationally, the project sparked fierce debate. Environmentalists warned of devastation. Engineers questioned whether such a structure could truly control the river. China pressed forward. When we speak of the Three Gorges Dam, we speak of sheer, almost incomprehensible size. Length, 2,335 meters. Height, 185 meters. Concrete used, 27.2 million cubic meters. Steel used, 463,000 tons. Enough to build dozens of Eiffel Towers. Reservoir length, over 600 kilometers. Hydroelectric capacity, 22,500 megawatts from 34 massive turbines. That's nearly twice the next largest dam, about the equivalent of 11 nuclear plants. For perspective, the Hoover Dam generates about 2,000 megawatts. The Three Gorges produces more than 10 times that. By 2006, the dam was structurally complete. By 2012, all turbines were operational. The Yangtze, once wild, now bowed to human control. For China, the dam became a declaration. We can accomplish what once seemed impossible. It became a symbol of pride and technical power, a modern Great Wall, a monument to human ambition. But the story was far from over. When such masses move, the consequences can become planetary. Scientists began to measure surprising effects. Think of a figure skater spinning. Pull arms in, spin faster, extend them, you slow. Earth works the same way. Moving mass changes the planet's moment of inertia. By creating a reservoir holding nearly 40 cubic kilometers of water, humanity shifted mass significantly. NASA scientists calculated the result. Earth's rotation slowed. The day lengthened by about 0.06 microseconds, millionths of a second. Imperceptible to us, but measurable. A first for an intentional human project. On a planetary scale, it is monumental. Humanity altering the spin of our planet. It required precise measurement and international verification. The redistribution also caused Earth to wobble slightly on its axis, a motion scientists call polar motion. The measured shift was about 2 centimeters. Tiny, yes, but clearly measurable with modern geodesy. Natural events can also change rotation. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake sped Earth's rotation by microseconds. But the Three Gorges case is different. It was intentional, an act of engineering. Humanity, for the first time, deliberately reshaped Earth's physics. Such shifts matter to precise systems, GPS, satellite timing, and geophysical models. Even microsecond changes force recalibration of high-precision systems. The dam's benefits are undeniable. Electricity for millions, reducing reliance on coal. Navigation improved, Ships travel farther inland, turning inland cities into ports. Estimates suggest it cuts carbon emissions by over 100 million metric tons yearly. It holds back peak floodwaters, protecting millions downstream. Economically, it boosted whole regions. For many, the dam delivered opportunity and energy security, but the costs are grave. Over 1.3 million people displaced, entire communities lost. The Yangtze's ecosystem suffered. Fish breeding grounds vanished. The Baiji, the river dolphin, is now functionally extinct, a symbol of ecological loss. The Three Gorges Dam is a paradox, an engineering marvel and a cautionary tale. For some, a source of pride, for others, a symbol of hubris. It reminds us our actions now reach a planetary scale. If dozens of projects redistributed mass, cumulative effects could become significant. Even microsecond changes affect clocks and satellites, forcing recalibration. Could humanity intentionally alter day length or polar motion? The door is open. The story is a lesson. We can move mountains, tame rivers, and alter planetary systems. But should we? Engineering brings trade-offs: cultural, environmental, human. The Three Gorges. Dam tamed a river. It powered a nation, and it touched the stars.